muzzle scarred and tight. Line cuts through that black glass as I aim into the night. In the silence they're watching, every movement matters. One tremor on that surface, and I'm the next one scattered. Trigger the strike, trigger the strike. DVL Custom Lures, built for the fight. Cast it deep, let it fall, built to hunt through it all. In the dark where they hide. DVL strike mode, lit precision, engineered to bite. DVL, built for the strike. Stumps like crooked teeth, old bones on the lake floor. Something mean down there, never seen the bank before. I feed it one small sin, chrome flash, blood red eyes. Let that monster taste it, then I rip it to the sky. In the silence they're watching, every movement matters. One heartbeat, one mistake, and they drag me to the black earth. Trigger the strike, hey, trigger the strike. DVL Custom Lures, built for the fight. Cast it deep, let it fall, built to hunt through it all. In the dark where they hide. DVL strike mode, lit precision, engineered to bite. DVL, built for the strike. When rope, white knuckles, that rod starts to bow. If you
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show tonight. We got kind of a special treat here. So how's everybody doing tonight? Doesn't show who I have. I wonder if I'm just missing a screen here. Let's see. Stats. Nah, it won't show me that. It just shows the chat. So unless you say something, I don't know if you're there or not. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. Michael knows how to do it. I don't. But it shows how many viewers I have and how many views there are. And then I got another box that shows chat, and that's it. So it doesn't tell me who's in here or anything. So we'll give them just a couple minutes here. Finish getting everything set up and ready to go. Hello from Massachusetts. How are you, Daniel? It's good to see you, Massachusetts. I don't think I have a tournament there this year. I think South Carolina is about as close as we get to there. So, but how's Massachusetts? Fishing been good? So hopefully it's been good. Oops, I got stuff falling off my wheelchair. I don't know what. But can you hear me okay? And it doesn't say that I have many dropped frames or anything, but is the background music too loud or anything? Let's see here. It says the mic is working. It says the background music's going a little bit. And that's all it's showing me. So, a bit hot. So, background music's too loud? Is that what you're saying? There, how's that? A little better? So, I'm not quite sure what bit hot means. I think it means too loud. But let me know how that is. I can always turn it down some more. So, okay, good. Got that fixed. So, how's the fishing been? Pretty good? Hopefully it has. It's been really good here. Of course, we had a kind of a mild break. We went from the hundreds down into the upper 80s, lower 90s. And that seemed to help cool the water down a little bit. We had a couple storms roll through, and now it's been the last couple of days back up over 100. Oh, my service puppy went outside. Kind of worried about him doing that this time of the night, because it right now is about when the rattlesnakes start coming out and everything. So had no luck fishing. Boy, that's terrible. Just hot water, hot weather, or you guys have been getting quite a few storms, I heard, on the East Coast. So I know they warned us we're going to Alabama, and they warned about a lot of rain, a lot of water runoff. Lakes are a little murky, and it's kind of caused the cottonmouth water moccasins to come out a little heavier. So they did send us a warning about that for this tournament that's coming up. So all right. Well, I think we'll get started. If the rest want to jump in, they can later. So, but what's happening is I finally made it into the DVA Bass Pro Bass Circuit, and so this series of tournaments, there's 7 altogether, with a fish off for the 8th one for Angler of the Year, and that's just the top 5 anglers get to go to that. So I got my fingers crossed. But so in going to getting ready to go to these tournaments, I've been looking real hard. They want you to have sponsors, and I can see why. It's really expensive. The entry fees are high. With gas up over $4 a gallon, it's tough to get there. The hotel rooms are, almost $200 a night for some reason, and so we've decided we'll just take my camper and stay in the campsite. The problem is, where most campsites that I'm used to back here on this end of the United States are around $40 to $50 a night, the campsites there are still $100 a night. So I've been looking pretty hard for sponsors, and one of the people that I contacted was Jason and Amanda at Epic Bait Molds, and so they sponsored me and offered to give me molds. And so today we're going to open up a box and see what molds we got, and try to figure out a pattern, you know, a good color mix, and shoot those molds. So let's see what I got here. Big old box marked caution heavy. I guess they think people in the post office are weak, which they probably are. So let's change this scene to where we got this turned on and that turned on. There we go. And that way you can see what we're doing. So we'll get this cut open. I tell you, Amanda does a fantastic job boxing these up and shipping them. From the time I told them which molds I was interested in to when I had a shipping confirmation was less than an hour. So very impressive. Oh wow, cool. Love these stickers. I'm going to put these stickers on my boat. So yeah, those go great on my boat. I got enough that I can do a couple sides. So they always send the fish. You know, it looks like walleye, trout. Love trout. We got a lot of trout here. Some kind of a crappie, and then of course their logos. So put those in there so we don't drop them. I got paper. Lots and lots of paper. Man, as well as these things are packed, they are not going to move and bang around any at all. Put that over there. Oh, they've taped them all together. Look at there. There's the first one. There's the second one. So we had them taped together so they were kind of stuck in there. And there's the third one. Now, what I got here is flapping drags. I have the Glory Craw, which is a good punching rig, and I have a couple of their small curly tail grub, which punches okay. You know, I have a few punching, but nothing really good. So there's Mr. Michael, 30,000 feet in the air. Technology is. Are you flying out here to see me, Michael? Holy mackerel, I wish you'd have let me know. I'd have got out an extra rod. I guess you'll have to ride on the boat and watch me catch all the salmon. 30,000 feet in the air. So you're not flying over Wyoming. We know that for sure. Because a lot of our mountains plane wouldn't probably do too well at 30,000 feet. So, but as I was saying, Michael, Jason and Amanda have sponsored me in my bass tournaments, and they sent me some molds. So I got the flapping drax. I think that'll be a good grass puncher. I want some of those 36-inch trout. Can't lay. Oh man, I went out day before yesterday. I took a young man to the same lake as I took Gary, and he ended up with a 41-inch lake trout. It was beautiful. I mean, that kid was so excited. I just almost had to hold him, keep him from jumping off the boat. He was so excited. Matter of fact, it kind of ended our fishing trip for a little while because we had to run back to the dock and show his parents. So those kind of fish are the average trouts in the lakes here. You get into streams and stuff. I did catch in the Miracle Mile, which is on the North Platte River. I did catch a 34-inch rainbow trout one time. You know, and I've caught lake trout that were 52 inches long, 53 inches long. You know, but once they get that long, they start getting really fat and heavy, and the meat gets mushy. They're just not very good eating. But there's nothing better than that. See, because our lakes here will be 150 feet deep and clear all the way to the bottom, and just ice cold. The water that we're fishing in was 69 degrees. So being clear and cold like that, you catch these trout and you cut them into steaks and smoke them, and they are just wonderful. But yeah, so anytime you're ready, come on out. We'll go fishing. I'll get you into some of those big salmon and big trout. So you guys have salmon in Northern California, if I remember right. But these are the landlocked kokanee salmon, and they're really, really good. So, but I did not have a good punching soft plastic, and so I got the 4-inch Flappin' Drax. Really excited about that one. Cut the plastic off of this very carefully. Don't want to scratch the mold up. Yeah, this is one that I'm really, really excited about. Man, you look at that. That is just, they are so clean and so well machined. So you can definitely tell Jason was in the aerospace industry, because his skills as a machinist are just absolutely, you just can't beat them. So the other one I got was the 5-inch curly tail grub. That'd be another good one, and that'll do all kinds of stuff. I've punched with these and had good luck. I don't have the 5-inch. I've got it's a smaller one. Let's see. That's a stick bait. That's a glory claw. Which one do I have? Oh, I've got the 3-inch curly tail grub. So start to run, but California has them severely restricted. Oh, yeah, Wyoming Game and Fish is asking that you start handling the trout and the salmon a little differently than you normally would, because the water's been so warm and stuff. We're fishing in waters that normally you'll see the thermocline at about 50 to 75 feet, and the thermocline will go from 50 degrees to 40 degrees. And right now the water's just, it's been in the 60s. Some of the lakes, like where I took Gary, the shallow end of that lake, the water was almost 75 degrees. So, oh wow, look at that. Oof. I've got to get the tail mold for this. I think I've seen you shoot this one, Michael. That one looks like it's going to be fun. That'll be a good one. But I like these curly tail grubs because I can swim them or I can punch with them. So, and then the last one I got was another one of the whip wads. Now, to get into the PVA Pro Bassmaster Series, I had to win 5 PVA tournaments. So I was fishing in Utah and Arizona and places like that, and we were catching mainly walleye. Is the big tournaments there, and so I had won actually 7 out of the 5 that are required. So there was 8 tournaments altogether. The one tournament I took second, the rest I took first. But they were all walleye. And the whip wad, I landed more walleye on that whip wad than and more bass. I was fishing for walleye, but catching bass on the whip wad. The final fish that did it was a 26-inch. It was a oh man, it was a walleye, 26 and a quarter inches. But I'd actually caught it on the fin kicker, which was, oh, it was cool. Couldn't get down to visit Grandpa in Oklahoma. We got a tournament coming up next year in Oklahoma. No, wait a minute. Okay, so September 15th, I go to Guntersville, Alabama, and then the 22nd, I go to Oklahoma. It's way in the north. It's a big lake there. I can't even remember what the lake's called. Water temps on Delta were in the 80s. Man, that is. Are the fish even biting when it's in the 80s? Are they active at all at that temperature? Because that's really hot. So ET, how close are you to the northern lakes? Gosh, I got to remember what the name of that lake is. I know how to find out. Let's see here. It's called the Okie Bass Open. Let's do this. PVA. Okay. So it is the Okie Open in Eufaula, Oklahoma. So Lake Eufaula. So I don't know where Afton is. Go to maps because Google Maps is always right. Yes, the bass are. It's all about punching. So punching grass and the weeds and stuff. Need that 1.5 ounce tungsten weight to get through. Let me I got your screens ready to go in. They're in an envelope. I will I'll put that envelope in a box and I'll send you a box. I made some bismuth punching weights that you might like. I don't see Afton on here by Lake Eufaula. Henrietta, Muskogee. Oh, that's a Cree Nation. Yeah, I don't see. Of course, you know, it's Google Maps, so they won't show you hardly anything. So, but I'll send you some of those weights, Michael. You might like them because they're bismuth. When you poured bismuth, like if you poured a 1 ounce lead weight and you use the same mold to pour a bismuth weight, it actually comes out weighing about 1.25 ounce because bismuth pours at a higher density than it's above Eufaula. Okay, so you're closer to the border. What the heck? You started the show while I was... Well, you know, Mike, they do sell, and you have to go to... Now you go to these quickie marts to get them, but they're these bags with this deep fried food in it. It's not any good for you, but it'll fill your gut. They call it potato chips. Try those instead of going out to eat. Of course, probably costs less to go out to eat, you know, because potato chips around here, I don't know, they're $6, $7 a bag. They're getting outrageous. But check it out, Mike. The Epic Whip Rod. This is a 3.1 inch. I already have one of those molds, but I fish a lot of the whip rod. Love it. I can vouch for that. He starved you? Oh man. And I was thinking about stopping by to see him. I don't know if I will now. But they sent me the 5-inch curly tail grub. I'm really excited about that one. And the Flappin' Drax. The 4-inch Flappin' Drax. So, well, what's up, Mike? You missed it so far. We were just talking about how you're incapable of cooking and you should start buying more potato chips. So, but yeah, we started without you. Jeffrey, Mr. Roberts, how are you, sir? To the Pickled Loon. That sounds like a bar. That doesn't sound like a restaurant. I wouldn't want to eat loon, and I definitely wouldn't want to eat a loon that's been pickled. So, but I've been doing my research. I looked up, and I do this for every lake I'm going to. I look up what the common food fish are for that lake, and of course, brim is everywhere. You can't go without making brim. It said the number 2 common thing was crawdads. Of course, I got the glory craw, and I love the glory craw in where did I put it now? Ah, there it is. See if I'm even close here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but that is Scuppernong, and it I put in 2 different sizes of black flake, that 1/8 inch hex, and then I put in 040 black hex, and then I put in the motor oil siren scales, because that motor oil siren scales, man, it is just so full of so many different colors. When you mix it with the Scuppernong, it's reds and golds and yellows, and it's just so reflective. No matter how deep it is in the bait, it's really reflective. Smash burgers I've ever had at the Pickle Loon. So it is it's a hamburger joint, huh? Oh, Steve is here. Cool. How you doing, Steve? And then I put in just a tiny, like a 30-second of the 030 bright gold flake. And that just to give it a little glint. But I think the siren scales, I'm pretty convinced every fish that I have caught this year has had 8-bit products in it. The bait has. If it didn't have 8-bit bait products in it, the fish weren't eating it. They just wouldn't bite. And I don't have a lot. I've got, Michael sent me the newer siren scales, which, holy mackerel, they are so fantastic. You know, matter of fact, see, I made the grub. with that scupper nong, and then I make these stick baits with the scupper nong, and I have a lot of luck with that scupper nong when it has that motor oil siren scales in it. Meat raffle and bingo night, wild crowd. Oh, cool. No, Michael's flying out here to Wyoming to go salmon fishing and trout fishing. You know, he didn't bring his boat. He decided to fly instead, which is terrible because he had made a statement one time that he's never been skunked on his boat. So I was hoping to use his boat instead of mine. You better know where the place to get food. Sticks with black and blue flake rule here. Yeah. The black and blue sticks I have some luck with. Flying home from Phoenix. Oh, so you're just heading back to California. Oh, crap. Where did I put that? I bet I left it down in the shop. Michael, you would be so proud of me. This is my fishing leg. So the problem that I have is my leg is held onto the residual limb with a electric vacuum pump. So it draws a vacuum, and that's what keeps my leg from moving around. And it means that I can go parachuting and paragliding and rock climbing and skiing and snowboarding. It's given me a lot of freedom going to that electric vacuum. The problem is I can't go in the water with the electric vacuum because it'd ruin the vacuum pump. So I have to have one that has a manual vacuum pump. Let me get this off. So the way this works, it's really hard to see, but basically you step down and out the bottom of this pylon, it pushes all the air. Then when you move your leg up, it creates a vacuum, and that's what holds this leg on. And you can get away with it on this leg because it's extremely light. The socket and this leg in the pylon is like 9 ounces. It's very, very light. So, problem is, it's barefoot. So there's no shoe on it. You never wear a shoe. So in order, I like wearing this leg because it's comfortable, because it's light. But in order to make baits in it, I was afraid I'd burn my little toe right there. So I made a wooden flip-flop for the top of my shoe. Yeah, it's a check valve is what they call it. So, but basically to allow air to flow one way but not the other way. The downfall is getting my leg back out of that socket is kind of tricky. So, but there's a button up underneath there I can push and it releases a vacuum. But Michael, I have now a flip-flop for bait making. So I can be just like you. So are you taking off? Oh, no, cool. You're hanging with us. Good. Visiting Wally World, huh? Oh, that was in that Lampoon Vacation. Wally World. With the moose. He punched the moose and then pulled a BB gun on the guy. I'd have pulled something better than a BB gun, but other than crawdads, the next most popular food in Gunnerville Lake is the gizzard shad. Then the golden shiner and the skipjack shad and the threadfin shad, other than that fin, are almost the same color in a dot. So what I'm hoping is that we can figure out a good imitation to make the flapping drax and the curly tail grub and the whip wad that would imitate these. So common brim is kind of, I don't know, that's an ugly fish. But I was kind of thinking, I've got a gizzard shad recipe that's all right. Matter of fact, I think it's one of yours, Michael. Having the red fins, the golden shiner might be tricky to do. But the skipjack shad and the threadfin shad, since they both look similar, see, what I do is I print out on photo paper an image of them, and then I put it with some white paper in these little plastic notebook things, and then I can slide that paper out and write the recipe on there, so that I know. Ooh, the golden shiner, you're saying go with that, huh? That one? Is that a good one, Mike? I'm kind of relying on you guys because we don't have golden shiner here. We have gizzard shad. Gizzard shad and suckers are the bait fish in Wyoming. Mainly the gizzard shad. So anytime I'm fishing for walleye, I'll make an imitation and use an imitation of that gizzard shad, or use those colors. So Lake Gunnerville, Alabama is the one on the 18th or the 15th. I get there on the 15th. So Lake Gunnerville, Alabama, and then from there it's Eufaula, Oklahoma. So just got a bottle of that from Lure Works. Oh, you got the golden shiner color. I'd seen that on there. I was almost thinking I have gold shad from MF. Pretty wicked color pattern. Yeah. But for the golden shiner, a gold shad and then the Pacific sand. To me, when I looked at it, was almost what I was seeing. The others, you know, that gold shad would work for this skipjack. If you use gold shad with maybe a few drops of like brown pumpkin or something. Like Gunnersville. When I was in the service, oh man, back in '83, I was stationed at Fort Gordon, Georgia, and me and one of the sergeants would take off and go to Gunnersville for the weekend and go fishing. And I remember the fishing was phenomenal, but we were fishing from the bank. And so we couldn't get to, you know, all we were doing was kind of skipping up under docks and trees. We couldn't get to the good grass beds. So, Steve, how's the grass beds? Do we get a gold shift mermaid scale or something similar? Out of this, the gold shad, I don't know how to describe gold shad. Michael would probably be better at describing it. You get almost a dark tan color with a lot of gold reflectiveness. Have those iridescent qualities to them. Yep. Pinks, purples, blues, etc. Okay, so you're saying use so bluegill goes kind of green. Junebug, the Junebug pixie dust. It goes from purple to green, kind of silver flashes in it. Junebug pixie dust is amazing stuff. I think bluegill is really, really green. Matter of fact, purple rupees, okay? I'm in luck. I have purple rupees. Grab this. Okay. So this is green, forest green paint, and then I dipped it in clear with the bluegill pixie dust in it. So if it's dark, it goes, hey, there is Jeff. I'm getting ready to go to a tournament in Alabama, Lake Gunnerville, Alabama. So I got some new molds. We're trying to figure out a recipe. This is just raw lead that I dipped in the bluegill. So see, it has that gold, silver, green to it. Beautiful stuff. But Mike, Bar Down Mike is saying purple rupees, which are fantastic. I love them. So yeah, you can kind of see it on there around the edges. There you can see the purple showing up. Yeah, Jeff, I don't know if you've been dipping your jigs and stuff. Man, I got to get some of yours. Yours are just way better than mine will ever be. But what I have figured out is if you buy like the pigments, the powder coat paint with glitter in it, 9 times out of 10, the glitter is too big and it makes the surface really rough and it just doesn't look very natural. But using the pixie dust is so fine that the reflectiveness of it is just out of this world. See if I can get that a little closer. Maybe I can get it to focus. It is a GoPro, so don't expect much. But the reflectiveness of the pixie dust is just, it is outrageous. I mean, you can't get any better. And these spinners, when I dip them like that in the pixie dust, I can't catch fish on them. What I do is I mix, I get the Barlow's clear and I use 3 tablespoons of clear and one between 1/4 and 1/2 tablespoon of the pixie dust. But yeah, your spinners have got me just, I look at those and it just blows my mind. And you can't copy them. I mean, there is no way to even get close. So they are just so much better than anything I'll do. So, but we're talking about, I think we've kind of, what I've got is the flapping Drax, the 4-inch flapping Drax, the 5-inch curly tail grub, and then another one of the 3.1-inch whip wads. Epic is sponsoring me. And so, yeah, mix your pixie dust with clear. Crushed groupies will work as well. But you always, anytime you're using crushed groupies, you almost always have to have a black background to get the crushed groupies to show up really nice. Sully would be great. Yeah, I don't have Sully. So I've got, in pixie dust, I got Sunfish, which Sunfish is phenomenal, especially if you do your first coat, your first powder coat in like orange, red, yellow, pinks, things like that, and then do the mix of Sunfish and the clear. And man, that Sunfish is just phenomenal over those colors. You can see Sunfish has a lot of gold to it, which, you know, that golden shiner Sunfish pixie dust might be pretty good. It might actually be better than the gold shad. If we went with I know we could do a monkey milk type of belly and then go into a light pumpkin or something and put Sunfish pixie dust in it. MD and SS from Michaels, yeah. Now, the only moon dust I have is at T8000. I need to get more. I've got to get more Michaels stuff because, like I was telling everybody earlier, out of all the fish that I've caught this year, every one of them has had some kind of 8-bit product in the plastic. And so yeah, I've caught a lot of fish in some big ones, and they all had something 8-bit in them. So show up better if the water is semi-cloudy. Okay. You don't think Sunfish would give me that kind of golden sheen that these golden shiner have? Even that has a little bit of gold to it. And they say they've been getting a lot of rain. Guntersville, from what I understand, is normally very clear. But they say that they've had an unusually large amount of rain lately, and so the snakes are out, something fierce, which doesn't bother me. So might bother the owner, but she can stay in the camper where it's safe. So with that much rain, I wonder if the water is a little cloudy. But we're three weeks away still. So Sunfish would be purple rupees. We know we want purple rupees in the belly. Right, Mike? The illusion powder from Lure Works is always very nice to add to any belly color. What color illusion powder? I guess I don't have the illusion powder. I have highlight powder. The problem with the highlight powder will kind of make cloudy, but those aren't very translucent bellies on any of these, so the cloudy might not matter. Yeah, Jeff, 3 tablespoons of Barlow's Clear, and then up to about a half of the pixie dust. And just start very small because it goes a long ways. Warmth might work too. What do you mean by warmth? Definitely sunfish if it's clear. So, yep, purple rupees and some snow shine. I don't have snow shine. I have monkey milk, right? Snow shine is dead on plastics. Yeah, so I've got the Lure Works monkey milk, which monkey milk and a few drops of white would get us pretty close, wouldn't it, Mike? And that already has blue in it, but if we went with blue and then the purple rupees, so sunfish in the top, rupees in the bottom. That illusion is kind of, yeah, and I've ordered it, I just haven't gotten it yet. Yeah, I ordered illusion, and I ordered the that pigment, that the pearl pigments. I ordered all those. So 8-bit warmouth. Warmouth is a pixie dust, isn't it? I don't have that. That's a rupees. We were going to look at using that. Warmouth. Let me see what colors warmouth is. I might have something close. That's the downfall of this, is I gotta get so much more. Oh, greens. So warmouth is green. It looks like green and yellow. Gold, green, blue. Gold, green, blue. So bluegill is gold and green. You can kind of see that. Says Gunnerville water temp. It's in the high 80s and clear to light stain currently. Okay. Where did you find that information? Blue pixie dust. You know, gold, green, blue. What if we tried bluegill? Yeah, bluegill and blue rupees. That would give us that gold, green, and blue colors. So, yeah, I have a lot of the Lure Works, the original oh, what do they call it? Like these highlight powders. The problem with highlight powders, though, it gets a great color to it, but it's cloudy. Listening in the background. What's the question? Okay, Michael, I don't have warmouth. How about bluegill pixie dust and blue rupees? That'll get us pretty close, won't it? It's listening in the background. In the background of what? Jet engines? That roar? You know, when I was in the service, I actually got to fly an F-16. And I tell you, that is a trip. That is fun. Yeah, boy, I tell you what, Jeff, that the new that new line that he came out with, that is magic stuff. We're gonna try to do like the golden shiner. There, did that come back? Is that better? I don't have very good mics, so they're rather unpredictable. Okay, cool. We're back. So, okay. I think my mic had died there for a little bit, so turn your mic up in. Um, after my amputation, when I was learning to ski, I got a special prosthetic just for skiing, and it clips right into the ski. But I tell you what, I could not stand up on that. I ran into everything. I mean, I hit people, I hit lift poles, I hit the little safety fence, I hit trees, I hit instructors, I hit a little kid once. I mean, it was just, and so they started calling me train wreck. And so uh, Mike goes off the rails and I'm a train wreck. So, boy, if you got the two of us together, it'd be a national disaster area. No, that's perfect. Okay, so we lost Michael again. He's off paying attention to the birds that just flew into the engine. Bird strike. I was on a DC-10 once. They had a bird strike. That was scary. So gold rupees. Well, I tell you, I like some gold rupees in there too. Well, I just don't know about gold shad. I think gold shad's gonna have to be in with something really to bleed it out. So, you know what? While we're waiting here, let's get some plastic warming up. Go over here to No More Mixing. There we go. No more mixing. So you take your 5-gallon bucket of plastisol, and I make a lid that will snap on that bucket, and there's a motor mounted to the lid and a blade down in there that stirs. And so all you do is you turn it on. Realistically, if you left it run for 5 minutes, it's as mixed as it's going to get for the day. But you just turn it on and it mixes. So now I don't have a drill. I don't need to ladle it out. It doesn't make a mess. There's a valve on the bottom of the bucket. See if I can turn you over here so that you can see it. It's right there. That's no more mixing, and the black thing right there is no more shaking. So you take your colorant, you lay it on no more shaking, and it just rolls it with a couple nuts in there. It'll just roll that around and mix it up. It takes about 10 minutes and it's completely mixed. Just as good as if you were shaking it. So yeah, I got no more mixing, no more shaking. Yeah, I think I've talked to you about it. And then I've got no more reheating too. And now no more reheating is a little box, and I sold my prototype, but I'm making another one. It's a little box, and the floor of the box is spring loaded, so that as you start drawing out of your cup, the cup gets lighter and it starts to tip it. but the box has these ceramic heaters in it, and it will keep, you set it with a PID controller, you set your temperature to 315 degrees, and it'll keep that cup within 1/10 of a degree of 315 degrees. I just spray painted the garage last episode. Yeah, see, so you need no more shaking. So see if I can take you guys over there to see what that does. It's going to be like an earthquake for a second. There. So that's no more shaking, and that is no more mixing. Let's see if I can get, there's motor. So I got no more mixing and no more shaking. I get bored easy, so I never sleep. I just stay up inventing stuff. So we'll get this back down there. Need a brain that can multitask. Man, if I had one of those, the Empire State Building would fall over or something. There we go. So that's what we're working on. Yeah, it's you know, a hot dog cooker, the tubes that the hot dogs roll on are heated, and so this would be kind of like a rock tumbler. You set your little drum on your rock tumbler, and it just rolls and rolls and rolls, and 2 months later you change the grits and move on. Well, this is like 10 minutes and they're mixed and ready to go. So yeah, I love my little gizminators. Okay, we got that. Yeah. We'll put these in the vacuum chamber real quick. Hopefully it isn't too awful loud that you can't hear me. I need a bigger garage. Either that or I need to move the rock stuff out of the shop and put the bait stuff down there. And away it goes. That's a you know, when you got too much time, your mind's got to wander somewhere, right? So, yeah, I'm always afraid because if Mike can spray paint his shop, man, I'd be flat dangerous. I'd empty out 5-gallon buckets of stuff. So, okay, what other color will we need? Probably, let's see. What do you think, transparent black? You can multitask. ADHD, huh? And autism. They accused me of having autism once. So I've got ultra transparent black. That'll make the pixie dust and rupees and stuff show up. And those are awful silvery. What do you think? Some silver flake? I got this cheap stuff. It works. So, is that pretty loud for you guys where that vacuum pump is running? Because I can, at this point, shut it off. Yeah. That's more gooder. And it's still bubbling away. I opened that bucket, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty bubbly stuff. So, ultra transparent. What other colors do you think we'll need for pigments? Let's see here. That golden shiner is kind of a nice color. You guys do know that about your vacuum chamber, right? Once you're up to vacuum, you can close up the valves on it, shut your pump off, and not run your pump. And it'll hold vacuum because you're not drawing air out of the plastisol. You're boiling moisture out of plastisol is what you're doing. That's what's making the bubbles, is the water that's boiling. And so you're not going to lose vacuum unless you've got a leak. Oh, there's my service puppy. Yeah, so I got a blind dog leading a cripple. Figure that one out. My service dog is for, he does my diabetes, detects my diabetes. So at night, when I take my hearing aids out, I can't hear the diabetes alarms going off. So he'll wake me up. 140-pound lab jumping up and down on your chest. Fun stuff. Let's see, he just came in. Here, I'll show you. There he is, getting a drink. He likes to lay outside. He can't see. We're going to make this golden shiner. So I see silver in there. We got the gold. Yeah. He has, I mean, it's almost debilitating when he's jumping up and down on you. And the worst part is, I have trouble sleeping anyway. And so you're dead asleep, and all of a sudden you feel this dog's hot breath on your face because he gets up. Copper and gunmetal flakes. Oh. Let's see if I can get up here. Copper and gunmetal. I don't think I want that fine of copper, and that's red holographic. Okay. So I got this gunmetal. It's extra fine. So this is that 008. But then I've got this, this is orange copper. So it's what they call a party blend. So it's 0.008, 0.015, 030, and the 125 all mixed together in there. So that's a good one. I like that. Copper and gunmetal. I can see that. So, oh, done bubbling. Yeah, you go to Hobby Lobby, they call it party mix. It's yeah, it's like $2.50 for a fairly decent sized jar of it, but 2-ounce jar, that'll last you a while. But the party mix, it's all hex, but it's those different sizes. So even got the squirrel. I don't know if you can see the squirrel. Yeah, you can, right there. So that's the one that they decided to call Nut Job. It's going to be a monstrosity, but my gut says it's going to catch fish. Monstrosity in what way? Just too much, you think? Too busy? Yeah, I like that. I hadn't even thought of copper, but that will kind of bring in where the fins are, and that kind of band right there. And this is weird because in the photo, it's silver on top, dark on the bottom, but this one's dark on top, silver on the bottom. So it must have that, just kind of that reflectiveness. They're afraid they might contain metal particles. No, they do have some at Hobby Lobby called Leaf. This stuff here is aluminum foil, so you can't put it in the microwave. But what I like to do with it is, like if I'm doing an open pour, I'll skin pour, or not skin pour, but capsule pour my mold with clear, and then I go in with my pixie dust and stuff like that, and I'll hand paint it on, and then I take this foil and you just get a piece on your finger and stick it, and it'll stick right to that plastic, your plastisol that's in your mold, that capsule pour. And then you get, especially this one's good, the gold is good, but silver, I do a gizzard shad, but then I'll do this silver and stick it at random spots on there, and it looks like a gizzard shad. When a bass eats a gizzard shad and pukes it up, the scales, that acid in their stomach will affect the scales and make them look kind of like they're falling off. And that silver looks a lot like those dead scales. So it's kind of neat stuff to have around if you're going to capsule pour, but you cannot microwave it. Okay. Oop, starting to rain. Let me go see here. Here, puppy. Look out. Yeah, you drank too fast, didn't you? There you go. Okay. Check this. Needs about another minute. Yeah. Almost there. Almost. So, cup one is almost ready. So we'll mix the belly first, right? Oop, jump that so. Okay, there's the monkey milk. What? What do you want? Hmm? You can't see what you want anyway. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay. You dummy, quit drinking so fast. So, do the belly. This is Lure Works, so probably about 25 drops. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks good. And then we were going to do purple rupees. You know, Michael, one thing you need to do is bigger jars. I need bigger jars. So we'll do some. That was a 16th. That's a good thing about 8-bit products. It does not take a lot. Oh man, that looks good. And then I think, in addition to that, a 16th. People complain about the price as it is. I don't care about the price. I run out. And I mean, if a bait doesn't have 8 bits, it just ain't getting bit. Oh, that's beautiful. That's it. I like that belly. So, let's see if we can get this up here where you can see it. That looks really nice, I think. That blue, purple, and then a little bit of silver sparklies in it. Okay. So, we will set that down in here. Get this one out. See, I think I figured out what I need. I got almost 1,800 acres of land. If we could figure out how to flood it, turn it all into a big pond, and then I could have like a 25 boathouse on it, you know, with a nice floor in it and stuff. And then I could have a place to make my bait and go test it right out right there. Now, if only I had about $10 million to do that project. Make sure that's not going to go over. Yeah, we're going to be okay. Okay. Yeah, if you're not using 8-bit, you're missing out. Antelope, they're a pain in the butt. Those stupid antelope come up, and a deer, you know, my owner made me build her all these raised brick planters for her irises. And the deer will walk around the planters to get to I got a little goldfish pond, and they'll walk around and drink out of that goldfish pond. The antelope walk right through them planters, trample all of the irises, and then go drink out of the pond. So yeah, antelope are a problem. And you don't get much, you know, you shoot an antelope, you're only going to get 50 to 75 pounds of meat. There ain't very much meat to them. Well, come on out. The nice thing is, the way Wyoming regulations are, turn that off. If you draw an antelope license in this area, you can then purchase as many additional licenses as you want to buy. So if you draw one, you can buy 10 or 15, you know, which is quite a bit of antelope meat. But, you know, so if you draw it and come out to hunt, just get more than one tag. And get your deer and your elk tag at the same time, because the deer and the elk, they all come up. Antelope, coyotes, they all come up and drink out of my goldfish pond. Draw is a pain there, though. No, not too bad. Most people that put in for it get it. So I draw, but I also get landowner tags. So I get a landowner antelope, a landowner deer, antlered deer, a landowner non-antlered, which is doe fawn, and then I get the antlered and the non-antlered elk for yeah, no, even the non-residents don't usually have too many problems drawing. So the problem is, they say that there's for every person in Wyoming, there's 7.5 guns per person. Okay, for every gun in Wyoming, there's at least 5 cows. And for every 5 cows, there's 25 antelope. So, yeah, I think it came out nice. See if this one's ready to make the top. Almost. It's pretty close. Needs just a couple more minutes. Another minute in the microwave. Still kind of gooey. Need to go get a commercial microwave. You bow hunt. Well, if you want to bow hunt, I mean, they're typically, when I shoot my antelope, I shoot it at about 15 to 20 feet away. So I usually shoot them in the head, but angling, yeah, makes pretty cool curly tail worm. Let's see here. We want to, that's my frog. That's a stick bait. There's a glory craw. So if we put these two back here, flap and drax. So, and a curly tailed rub. They don't have a top or bottom to them. Then we can take, that's my whip wad. So we'll put this whip wad by that whip wad and we'll whip the wad. In Iowa, some spots for fishing. The fishing's good in Iowa. Iowa's got some nice whitetails. We don't have, our whitetails aren't that big. So, but Iowa's got some nice whitetail here. Watch out, puppers. You're going to end up getting a snout full of stuff you don't want. Okay, so go back over here to no more shaking. And see, that was perfectly shaped up. So, MF Noma, or the golden shad. Let's see, start out with about 5. Nope, it needs more than that. That's 15 drops altogether. Okay, that is pretty nice. I like that there. And then, I don't think we need a whole lot of this. This is transparent black. Try 5 drops. There we go. Now, get the purple rubies. Set a little bit of copper in there. So about a 1/16, I guess. You can always go more. Oh man. Copper was a good call. That is nice. Then you set a little bit of gunmetal. I can see the gunmetal in it. That's going to kind of get that black dots. I'll go with just a little bit of that. Oh man. I don't know if you guys are seeing that. But that is starting to come alive. That is really getting nice. So I know we want some silver in there because there's a lot of silver in that fish. So let's put a 1/16 of silver in it. Pixie dust. Haven't added it yet, no. But I'm thinking we got the gold rupees. And I think the gold rupees are going to make that copper just bounce. So we'll put a 1/16 of the gold rupees. That might even be too much, but I love rupees because they're really fine, but man, they have a profound effect. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, you can actually see those rupees right on the top there. They just really... Now, sunfish or bluegill? I think it's sunfish. We want that golden aspect to it, so I think the sunfish will. I think sunfish will be a better pixie dust. Here we go. Let the magic begin. Far down. Michael, are you not hearing me? Holy mackerel. Look at that. That is wild. That's gold. I think a little more silver. What do you think? It actually made the gold from this this gold shad. That sunfish made that gold just kind of glow. Bluegill. A little bit of green in there. Cool. I'll do it. Bluegill is one of my favorites anyway. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that is nice there. I think just a touch more silver. Not very much. Get that so I can clean my spoon up. And now I got that stuff all over my hands. Okay. I think we're there. What do you think? I like that. I'm not a big one for a ton of flake, but I will make an exception this time. Okay, and now we got to do the dance. 285. Come on, booger, get off of there. It's got squirrel snot on it. So 285. Red, you're right in the way, dipshit. Come on, dingbat. Why don't you go over there and lay down? Then we will get this one out. Let's see where this one's at. It's pretty cold. That one is way cold. Yeah, that one's really cold. So, goodness gracious, are you done sneezing yet? $3.55. Okay, get my block here. Injectors. Well, now we got half of the stuff out in the world. Hope you guys remember how to write that down. I hope Michael is taking notes. Bigger jars. Set that right there for now. Okay. So that one's a little warm now. Dirty. It needs to cool down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Belly on the left. Belly on the doesn't matter. Belly on the doesn't matter. No, those don't matter either. So, let's see how these come out. Get my gloves on. Mike, you were asking, you were commenting in your last video about the heat of your injectors for your shooting star. GRX Exacta Grip. Okay, Hobby Lobby. These are, you can't say heat proof, but they resist heat up to 400 degrees. They work better than even welding gloves, if you ask me. They resist more heat. The other thing you can do is a pair of one of these gloves, and then put a big welding glove on over it, but then you're really bulked up. So, sounds like a good name, Squirrel Snot. That would be a good name, actually. The other thing that I was going to tell you is that, well, first of all, I make an injector that's a single tube for the shooting star when you want to shoot just one color and draw off one pot. That way you're not contaminating both tubes with one color. Okay. The other thing is the same material that silver reflective material they make to make firemen's jackets out of. You can get that material and either use zip ties and zip tie it around your tubes, or you can take like a heat formagasket. Permatex formagasket is a real good one, the high temp one, and just put a bead along your injector and then wrap that fireman's cloth around it, and that will resist heat up to about 1200 degrees. So two ideas that might help you. Let's see if I can get up here. Okay. That was the injector. That wasn't me. Okay. We'll put the belly on the left since it doesn't matter. And that did not take as much plastisol as I thought it would. It's full. Oh my golly. This is beautiful. You guys have nailed it. Let's see. I want my belly this way, don't I? Wait a minute here. No, I'm doing that wrong. I am doing that way wrong. You got to pay attention to what you're using. And my block's seized up, so we'll have to go back to that one. Okay. Top these off. You know what? I like that color so much. I think what I'm going to do, I might be able to get a couple of them with just that color. I don't think these drink very much, but just in case. Look at that color. Man. That is a beautiful color. Even that belly color is a nice color. Squirrel shot. I don't think that would be an appropriate name for a shad, but it's a cool color name. Holy mackerel, guys, you nailed it. Man, that is beautiful. Let that set. Don't know, this is the first time shooting these molds, so I'm not sure quite how long they need. But now you notice on this injector, this is an N2 injector. I put that black heat shrink tubing, and the body of this is cool, but look at the size of that puck. I mean, that just, it's pretty much nothing. So I think these are going to be really good. I think these are going to be really, really good. See, compare it to that, without the insulation on there, the pucks get quite large. And I still, the way I did it, I left that part open so I can still go in and use these to laminate. Ha ha ha! The E is here. Or is it Mr. Blue at Dave Line Baits? I don't know, I'm confused. How's it going, sir? We are making beautiful baits here in my brand new molds that Epic is sponsoring me for the bass tournaments, and so they sent me some molds. I just need to get an Epic t-shirt now. Of course, I got t-shirts that my sponsors are going to be in. Okay, the 4-inch Flappin' Drax. Which way is it going to come out? It doesn't know. I don't know. Oh man, that is gorgeous. Now, are we close to that color? I'd say we are really close. Really close to Golden Shiner. Man, those look great. Let's see if I can do it this way. There we go. Man, those look good. Okay, now I'm excited. Let's see here. Oh man, I did not know curly tail grubs could look that good. Holy mackerel, look at that. Would you look at that? That 8-bit stuff in there, just wow. And then, what is it, Mike? Peel the onion back? Peel the onion back. Oh, look at that. Michael, sir, you have outdone yourself. Those are crazy good. Man, that is so nice. That will work. That'll swim, that'll punch, that'll do everything. Man. I cannot believe how good those look, guys. gonna set that down there. Holy mackerel. That silver just, it barely shows up. Everything else is so nice. I am so glad, Michael, that we added that bluegill to it. That yeah. Man, those look great. I don't know how you could get in, I don't know how you could improve on that. I really don't. Is it bad? You want to see more? Yeah, that is boy. Yeah, I got to do a bait swap with you there, Dave. So I need, your the big sticker right there, the big fishy. I need another one of those for my boat. So you'll have to let me know what it'd take to get one of them from you there, Dave. Because that sticker would rock on my boat. We need a big one for Michael too. I got your small one, but I need another big one to put on my boat. And then Obesity Baits. Obesity Baits, you guys are aware he was part of a news story, right? You guys aware that he was brought up in the news? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, Dave. Yeah. Yeah, I heard it the other day, that obesity. Yeah, it was. Yes, this is the action news. Can you tell me what happened here, sir? Yeah, I can. I was just out at the marina getting Ethel a snow cone when all of a sudden, here he come out from the third slip. I yelled out, "Don't look, Ethel!" But it was too late. She already got a free bait. Obesity baits. Yeah. All right. I won't do that again. Yeah, I did an AI song. Boy, that is so cool. Let's let's see how these came out. Oh man. That one flopped. Ran out. That one came out good. See, that was the laminate. I run out, then my block seized up right after this one. Man, that is nice. I have caught a ton of bass. Matter of fact, I caught a bass that lake that I took Gary. They're looking, and they're supposed to let me know. It's probably a state record bass out of that lake off of this little 3-inch whip wad. So, yeah, I wish I had that color. But the greens, it was the greens, the sunfish that got it. But man, look at that with that, just the gold. That came out cool. Love those. I love the whip wad. I guess I got a lot of confidence in it. Man, you guys came up with a cool color. I am writing that recipe down. And I will mix that up in the tournament strung tomorrow and just go to town, shoot a bunch of baits. I'm going to set this over here. Yeah, that is some amazing, amazing stuff. So I love that. Man, that came out so cool. That Flappin' Drax is just a cool mold. That'll punch really well. I think those grass mats that are on Gunnersville, I think it'll punch those really, really good. Man, look at those. Man, we are so close. You lay that up next to that fish. We are so close to that. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe just a little bit more silver. But not much. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to look at something. That T8000. Late to the party, of course, is a Flappin' Jacks and Curly Tail Grubs new. Yes, Dave, Epic. Jason and Amanda are sponsoring me in the PVA Bass tournaments that I've got going on. I start here in about 3 weeks in Alabama, and so Jason sent me a 3-inch whip wad, the Flappin' Drax, and the Curly Tail Grub, you know, as part of sponsoring me. And that way I could get some good baits that, you know, because I really don't have anything for punching other than the Glory Craw. So let me look at this real quick. Oh man, guys, we got to try this. T1000 in the Moon Dust 101. I think Nice City. There's T800. I need to look both of those up. Let's see here, because I think I think it's 1000 is the silver. So we go to the little magnifying glass, and then we go M D T dash. There it is. Okay, T1000 silver holographic. Let's look up T-800. Silver holographic. So both the 800 and the 1000 are both silver. So that's, we can kind of see that one. I don't think I've even opened this one. Oh my God, that's it. Let's take the belly color real quick. Blue interference, mica shift. I don't have blue interference. I have blue highlight. So in the highlight, I thought would cloud. It would make the plastic cloudy. So, but I'm going to. That's still pretty jelly inside. Let's warm this up a little bit. We'll just go slow. I think I want to add this T1000 to that belly and see what it does. So I don't know if Michael's still on here and listening. He could probably say, you're making a mistake. I mean, I like these just the way they are. But I think with this this T1000 in it, it's going to give it more of that silver that we're seeing in the photograph. So I got stuff jumping on me. Huh. Oh, my vise fell over. Yeah, we'll warm that up and we'll try that real quick. So it's about halfway there. Man, those came out just beautiful. I love that curly tail. Of course, I have their smaller curly tail grub, and I've had a lot of good luck with it. Matter of fact, I shot it earlier. No, that's not it. Yeah, here it is. See, this is their smaller curly tail grub, and I've caught a lot of fish off of that, and some pretty decent ones. Some of the walleye that we were catching with Gary was off of this curly tail grub. But man, you look at that, look at the two compared to each other. There's a big difference in them. So I think this will be more for what I need for punching the grass, getting down through there. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so let's take this and I think I'm going to go with the full 16th. Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and maggots of all kinds, as my drill sergeant used to say. That just pushed that right over the edge. I don't know how well you can see it. Look at that. Look at that. Just, it absolutely, that just lit up. Mike Left most likely spelled his name wrong, huh? Mike, bar down Mike Left? That chicken. Okay. So. Where'd the other half go? It's underneath here. I think, since I don't have a whole lot, I'm just gonna go for it. Oh man. Hope that leaves me enough. Oh, it did. It did. Man, look at how good that looks. Look at that. Man, that just added enough of that. Remember, Mike was saying that they have that blue and purple iridescence to them. That's what that just added, along with silver. So I think this is going to be golden, 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 golden. Oh, by the time this time of the night rolls around, I'm ready not to be on that leg. Yeah, I just shot the belly color, not both. I don't think I have enough in that top color to do a lamp. I guess maybe I would have, but it was so close. And all we really changed was the belly color anyway. What's up, buddy? You can see that when you use that, when you put that insulation, this is heat shrink tubing for electrical wires, put that over your injectors and you get those tiny, tiny little plugs. So, yeah, it's still a little gooey. That one's ready. Okay, let's see how these ones look. Oh, man. Oh, Lord, that's good. Yeah, just when you think it can't get any better. There I go, shaking you guys all over the place. Man. That is like magic. This black heat shrink, I think it'll go down to 1 3/4 inches. Measure real quick. It'll go down to 1.5 inches. So it starts out at 2 3/4 and it shrinks down to 1.5 inches. So it's a 3-to-1. And you want to get, you can get 2-to-1, but the way heat shrink tubing is rated is the lower the ratio, the thinner the wall. So you can get 2-to-1 is very thin stuff and it doesn't insulate a whole lot. 3-to-1 is kind of your average, and it's real inexpensive to get 3-to-1. And it leaves about a 1/16 inch wall. And then you can get 4-to-1, which is really expensive, but it'll leave, man, it's almost an 1/8-inch wall, which is a lot of insulation. The problem that I found with 4-to-1 is if you do this, and see, I left this space here so that I could still put my dual injector block on. But if you get 4-to-1 and you put it on there on your injector block, it'll actually interfere with that rod. You'll have to take that rod out to do that. I did a live, one of the Tech Tuesdays, and it's titled All About Injectors. If you watch that, I go through the whole process of how to select your size, the measurements you'll need, and where to cut them off at, you know, how long to leave them and stuff, and how to shrink them on. So that covers pretty much everything you'd ever want to know. And probably a bunch of stuff that you think I'm crazy. So, which I probably am. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like just the belly color in that Flapping Tracks. That'll be great. I mean, I don't know if you guys are seeing as much as I am, but that is so reflective, that holographic in it. There you can kind of start to see it where it changes. And that added a ton of silver, as well as golds and greens and blues and reds. And it just, yeah, now I almost wish I'd have gone with a little more in there. But, and I don't know, because you get to a point where you say, boy, I wish I'd added more, but then it's almost too much. But you can see there, that just really came out. You can really see it in the flappers. And so, but yeah, and these epic molds, man, I just, they're my favorite by far. There's a difference. Yeah. But, you know, we have our state mental hospital in Evanston, Wyoming, and I don't go there. I'm afraid they'll stop me at the city limits and just take me away from there. I used to go there. I used to go to a rendezvous there. I did the Mountain Man, the black powder rifle shoots. So I used to do a lot of the regular long range rifle shoots, but then they said I can't do it anymore because I was a professional shooter. And how they went from a sniper in the military to professional shooter, that I thought that was a stretch, but I learned more shooting in the Olympics than I did in the military. So, Jeff, you taking off, bud? Cool. Thank you, sir. You have a good night, Jeff. And hey, Dad, I need one of that metallic sticker. That's a vinyl one. I need one of those for my boat too, bud. So I got your other ones. I like that green ones. And the squirrel. I don't know if you guys have seen my squirrel sticker. See if I can take you up here without getting you too sick. There we go. There. Jeff did that for me. That's pretty wild sticker, and my owner has a bad habit of opening all my mail, you know, and I'm really pretty convinced that what it is if somebody's sending a letter bomb, she wants to make sure it gets to me and not to her. So but she opened it up and saw that squirrel sticker, and about stole it from me. So I've noticed that with her. She likes to get the good stuff and leave me everything else. So, but yeah, it was awful nice of Jason and Amanda to sponsor me, and I'm just thrilled to have the molds. I love the Epic molds. You know, and I've tried them all, and they're all good. I've got some Angling AI. I do like the Angling AI tube molds. And I've got some hog salad. I like the hog salad salmon egg molds. I think those are good mold. But I like the Epic salmon egg molds too. So, and what's funny with the Epic, you buy the 2 different size salmon eggs. You take and shoot the small salmon egg in black, and then put it inside the big salmon egg, and then shoot the big salmon egg in like a translucent red, the clear red, and it looks like a red salmon egg with the embryo in it. So you can do that with the Epic salmon egg molds. I don't think you can do it with any of the others. The feed between the different salmon eggs is too big on the other brands. Man, those came out beautiful. I am glad I added that. That was at T1000, the Moondust T1000. See if I can get it straight. There it is. I'm glad I added that to it. So now tomorrow I'll mix up a bunch of this and put it in my tournament strong pots, and I'll just shoot a bunch of these baits. I'll just keep filling these molds. So, and then I need to get my chiller plates going because I've gotten them too hot. But yeah, these are, see if we can get that up there to where you can see it. That T1000 just made a huge difference. There you can see it going in there. So perfect. Thank you guys. That was great. We came up with a great recipe. Dave, quit walking the dog at night. Start coming to the lives so that you can get ideas for these recipes. So, and remember, Dave, don't wear a button-up shirt. So you and button-up shirts just don't get along together. Not good bedfellows. So, you know, in case you guys are wondering, if Dave, you know, he writes his name on the inside of a shirt collar so that he can look like this and know that he's Dave from Blue Line. And if he wore a button-up shirt, he'd be something like the A V Boo I. Yeah, we wouldn't want you to have a messed up name. You know, it's already hard enough figuring out if you're Blue from Dave Line Baits or Dave from Blue Line Baits or what it is. I think it's Blue from Dave Line Baits. So, but we'll just call you Tums. Hey, Dave, Tums, you go down. Jimmy, he owed money. You go get the money from Jimmy. You go, Tums. Go take care of Jimmy. Better not put that over there. It is actually raining out. You have the hot salad Cinco. I don't own it, but I did get to shoot it, and it's a good mold. I mean, it's pretty nice. You can't get it to do the shake. I've added salt and softener. What do you do? Oh, well, I despise salt. Salt will make, first of all, it discolors and it makes the bait brittle. So some people swear salt in a bait makes a fish hold on better, but maybe, I don't know. But what I have always done with it is I've taken and I'll do a laminate, even if it's both the same color. Let's say I'm making just a black with blue flake. Okay, one side of the laminate I will mix in. I'll start with a medium plastisol and I'll mix in hardener on that side, and you've got to mix hardener in while it's cold. The other half of that I mix in softener. So now I've got two different diameters of that plastisol, even if they're both black. When you shoot those as a laminate like that, what happens when it gets in the water is the hard side wants to stay stiff, the soft side wants to move and fall around. And because of that battle between the two, it will actually vibrate and undulate going through the water. So that's how I've been doing it. The thing about the hog salad, the Cinco, or the stick bait, is it's got a large diameter for the length of the bait. So you could almost go with the longer bait and get the same thing, but then you got length that you don't necessarily want. So yeah, and Dave has some pretty nice stuff. He does the Dragon's Den stuff. So you might, I like the 8-bit stuff. I have some of the 8-bits. I don't have a lot of it, but I have some. I don't have any of the Dragon's Den stuff. I need to look into getting some so that I can try it. But I know that the Dragon's Den's been really, really popular lately and gaining popularity. I've seen Dave has sent me some of the baits that he's made with it, and they look really nice. I mean, they're really good. So yeah, you might talk to Dave over at Blue Line there and see what his products are all about, and it seems like he'd be willing to maybe work with you on the price or something, or help you out something, maybe send you some baits so that you could see what they look like or something. So but I have a lot of 8-bits and I like a lot of the 8-bits. Every fish that I've caught this year, there's been 8-bit products in the bait. So because I've had some regular Zoom worms and stuff, and I have not been able to catch fish on them at all. So not this year. The fishing's been really, really tough this year here because our waters have been extremely low. All of our waters ended up going to Colorado and New Mexico because they're in the same drought that we're in. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough, especially on the northern end of the state. We didn't get enough snowpack to even come close to replenishing any of that. So, so we've had extremely low waters. We've been typically, we'll see maybe 99 or 100 degrees once. We've been over 100 degrees almost every day for over a month. And so the water's been hot. So the fishing's been extremely difficult. So what I've been having to do is fish deep, and everything's had the 8-bit products in it. That extra little glimmer and the extra stuff that the fish just haven't seen seems to be what has been getting me the bites. So, you know, and it was all of Epic's molds that every tournament that I've won, I've been using baits made with Epic molds. None of the others have worked. So, and I've tried, I don't know, I've got Angling AI and haven't been very successful with those. I have a few hog salads and they just haven't worked. But the Epic molds, and maybe it's just my confidence, I don't know, but the Epic molds have actually gotten me through all the tournaments that I've been in. So yeah, he's in Oklahoma. Where at? Does he fish in Gunnersville? Because boy, we'll have to get him to pre-test some baits for me so that I know what to make more of. So, because it's been so long since I fished there. And the tournament rules are we cannot use any live bait at all. We can't use scents or attractants. The only thing we can use is soft plastic baits. So, or we can use hard lures, wooden lures and stuff. The stinger mold. No, wait. Yeah, I do have the stinger. So, I have I think they only make one size stinger, but yeah, I have a stinger mold, and I haven't had very good luck with it. Now, Michael at 8-Bit Baits had sent me some of the flapping dracks, and I did catch quite a few fish on the flapping dracks. But I haven't owned the flapping dracks up until they sent it to me. And as nice as that looks, all I've ever fished with is a 4-inch. I don't wonder if I don't want to get the 5-inch flapping dracks, and I think I'm going to get the bigger of the whip wad. This little 3-inch whip wad has caught me a lot of large bass. I caught an 8-pounder on a 3-inch whip wad. So, and it was green with bluegill pixie dust in it. So it was a watermelon green and had bluegill pixie dust, and that caught me. It was a massive. It was the biggest bass that I've ever caught. So, but yeah, I like Dave has sent me some baits, and they're beautiful. The thing I like about Dave's baits is he doesn't do a lot of the pigment, the heavy pigments. He lets his flake and his additives become the star of the bait. And to me, it's kind of like this monkey milk is a very light color, but the stuff we added to it becomes a star in that bait. And Dave has been a lot of his baits are that way, which I kind of like. You know, I think they look more natural. So, but man, I love that. You compare that to this guy. Oof. Man, we're gonna be punching tonight. I might just have to go try these in the morning. There's a little lake, and it has a bunch of smallmouth bass in it. A lot of smallmouth, and some pretty good sized ones. But it's only about 15 minutes away from me, maybe 20. So you're welcome, Dave. Love them baits that you sent me. Yeah, Dave he's got that eye. Dave Dave knows what he wants to see and he can get it done. So, which is, I think, as bait makers, all of us struggle with that. We can envision something in our head, but to get it to actually come out is a whole different story. You know, we were actually working on this one, this golden shiner. But if you compare the golden shiner that we did with, if I could get these off of here, with the skipjack, we're actually pretty close to that color of that skipjack. Let me get one that's there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maybe if I lift it up. So we kind of accomplished both the skipjack and the golden shiner all at once. So, so you know, that I think it's going to be good. Now the skipjack, I think I'll use that that 3-to-1 injector. So it's all in a proper name writing in my collar. Keeps me on my rails. So unlike bar down and me, you're trying to stay on the tracks. Wait a minute. Now you've eliminated half the fun in life. So, but I think from now on we ought to just, instead of calling him Dave, we'll just call him Tums. He's kind of in that area where they got a lot of the Italian mafia anyway. So, but you know, somebody be watching YouTube and they'll try to hire him to go get money for him or something. Could be a whole sideline career for you there, Tums. Hey, how's it going, Captain? Love that. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Where is that sticker? I know I put your sticker up. Oh, it's on the boat. I put it on the boat. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get enough stickers from you, so I had to put it on the boat. Look down at Dave, Insta, and Woa, huh? The Enforcer. Cool. I appreciate it, man. I want to tell you stories. He doesn't know where the rails are. Dave's getting picked on. Poor Dave. I don't feel sorry for him. Well, I should, but oh, cool. Glad they could help you some. Lead into the mountainsides. At least you weren't hitting trees. Where was that I did those? These have been good ones. I don't know if you can see those, but man, those have been really hitting. I mean, a lot of fish caught on those. It's that color. Doesn't look like anything, so the fish have to bite it every time. So I think I need a tray, and we're going to put those on a tray here. I don't have the great big fancy trays like Michael does, but I have. these trays, they work. Man, that Flappin' Drax is so cool. Get all these set out. I like to make sure these are laid flat. I'll hang like stick baits and the smaller curly tail grubs I've been hanging, because when you hang them and you get that twist in that tail, it wants to stay there. And I think it gives that smaller curly tail grub a little more action. I'll have to play around with the big one to see if it's the same way with it. Man, that Flappin' Drax is cool. Man, the best thing about the Flappin' Drax, if you tear these two center ones out, like if the bite just isn't happening and you take those two center ones out of there, then you have that, what do they call it, battle grub or something like that, that they're selling now for $15 a pack. So bunch of the 3-to-1. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's you know, because I had experimented for a long time, believe it or not, with making nylon inserts for inside the injector. And what I found is if you put a nylon insert in there, even if it's a 10,000 wall insert, it doesn't prevent the heat from escaping that well, number one. Number two, you had to make the piston, the plunger inside your injector, smaller to accommodate that smaller size. And then you had a whole different set of O-rings. You know, there was just a whole bunch of problems that went with it. And then one day, I was actually messing around with the guy in a welding shop, and he was inside of a bucket on a haul truck. So these haul truck around here, the coal trucks, they will haul, like, the smallest ones are 20 tons of coal at a time. And a 20-ton haul truck bucket, you can park 8 pickup trucks front to back and side to side in it, right? And so he's in there, and the problem is they drop the coal in and rock and all that, and it bends up, and eventually the side of the haul truck bucket breaks. And so he's in there air arcing, you know, where you use this carbon arc rod and compressed air, and you're in there, and it cuts. It's better than a cutting torch, more efficient than a cutting torch. So he's in there air arcing, right? And there's a guy just outside of the bucket running a metal lathe, got these great big steel chips coming off of it, right? Well, the guy had ticked me off that was air arcing. He was just kind of a mouthy, arrogant little 25-year-old punk. And so I grabbed up a whole milk crate full of these steel chips out of the lathe, and I dumped them up on his welding lead above him, because he had the welding lead coiled in a big coil above him so that he could walk around in this bucket, right? I dumped them in that coil, and they stay there while you're air arcing because it creates a big magnetic field. As soon as you quit air arcing, steel chips come raining down out of the sky forever. And beautiful way to treat a 25-year-old punk kid not to be mouthy and arrogant, because I know about magnetic fields and he's not very smart. And it filled his leathers full of steel chips, right? Well, the owner of the shop grabs me and he says, look, I got this problem with this welder. It keeps overheating and shutting down. Can you look at it? And so, you know, he's a friend of mine. And I said, yeah, I'll come take a look at it. And I'm feeling the power cord, and it's hot until they had this insulation, and it's not hot anymore. And then after the insulation, it's not hot. And so it told me that somewhere in there they had a short in there, and that was creating excessive heat in that cable, right? And I got to think, well, that should be hot where that short is, but this insulated it and kept it from feeling hot. And so I started looking up the insulative properties and found out it's a better insulator than the fiberglass insulation in your house. And so I started putting it on injectors and taking a heat gun and checking it, and sure enough, it's a great insulator. And that's how that came about. That little, I don't know, kind of a little cheat for your injector, but it does definitely help keep the size of the plug. You get to use more plastisol in your injector. You know, it's a more thorough injection, I guess you'd say. Man, that 5-inch grub is cool. Look how pretty that is. Dude, pretty. Yeah. The Angling AI was one that it has a nylon tube as an insert in it. And so it's cut the same length, so you have to have both ends on it for it to stay in and everything. And it's a cool idea, but this will actually insulate better than that Angling AI, and it's like $100 cheaper. So, you know, you pay a lot of extra for that Angling AI injector, and it's a nice injector. I've shot with one, and it's neat. It definitely, you can still feel it if you grab it. You can still feel the heat coming out of that injector. It's still pretty warm. So, whereas with this stuff on there, the tube never gets very warm. I can shoot, you know, 6 or 8 cups through that one injector, and it'll never get warm, and it'll never, the plug coming out of it is tiny. Let's see if I still got that in here. Yeah, there it is. See, this came out of my injector that I'm using for my laminates, and this came out of this insulated one. So it does the same thing as the Angling AI, and that heat shrink tubing is, I don't know, $15 or so. It isn't very much. Yeah, Amazon. Amazon's the cheapest place to get it. And you don't need very much. I mean, it's sold in a 3-foot piece, which is way more than you'll ever use. Definitely need more whip wads that are laminated. Wow, those are cool. There's David say, ew, pretty. Dave's kind of that way. Man, those came out. That is just, oops, got to turn that over. I missed a couple. Well, I tell you what, that 8-bit products are just, they really light that up, don't they? There we go. There's what we did today. So, pretty amazing. Those are all new molds to me. So, I had the whip wad before, and I think I will get the larger whip wad. I need to get it. Because I think the larger whip wad will swim. I shouldn't say it. It might not swim. I've never had a whip wad that really, I put a little jig head on them and throw them out. And before I even get them down to where I'm going to start reeling them, generally I get bit. So, pretty. I don't know that lady's name, but she looks familiar. More of the of these the flapping dracs or the big curly tail grub. So yeah, they're really nice. And I love the baits that you sent me with some of your products in it. I love them. They're beautiful. You know, so I really need to just, what I need to do is figure out how to hide the owner's gun and take her wallet and just order some from you. So try remelting the runners to see what you get. Oh yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? I don't have, these are actually, I didn't shoot that many laminates. But I'll try that tomorrow, because I'm gonna take and mix up like probably 4 or 6 cups of each color tomorrow, and I'll throw them in that Tournament Strong Presto pots, and then I'll shoot, and so I'll have a bunch of runners, and so yeah, I'll bet that'd still be cool. What it would do is it would add that T1000, this silver holographic, it would add it to the gold. I don't know if it'll show a little blue highlight to it, a little blue shine. That would be interesting. That'd be cool. Normally I just throw them in a bucket and grind them up and melt them all into a big green gooey mess, and I make I shoot a lot of baits for the kids at the fishing lake and stuff. The lake I'm going to. So now, which one are you guys fishing with your grandpa? Because that was real close, I thought. Yeah. That's because Jeff is frugal. He melts everything. Ooh, that was pretty, so let's melt it together and make it prettier. You know, but with that color base, when you look at, if you melted that together and it didn't turn out good, you could always add a little bit of green watermelon and have a bass. You would have a bass color then. So yeah, a little bit of watermelon green, and with those two together, you would have a bass, which is yeah, I had some. These are that little curly tail grub, and see, I used that C block on this, and it just, I don't know, I have never been able to get that C block to work very well. But see, that's almost that baby bass color. So, but you can see, you know, it tries. It seems to me, stop it. The C block tries when you first start shooting with it. When it hits the bottom of the mold, it tries to do that kind of crazy stuff. But then by the time you're up to the top, you're back into a laminate anyway. So, and a bad laminate, you can see where this one kind of halfway got a line and halfway didn't. So, so yeah, I don't know why I keep messing with that C block. I've never really liked it. What I ought to do is just get rid of it. Then I wouldn't have to mess with it. So, but I did that earlier today, and then I did Scuppernong. I love this Scuppernong color. And see, that has the motor oil siren scales in it. And you can really see they light up. Motor oil, I think, is a cool color. I think it's one of the best siren scales there is, but I like them all. That's the problem. Nesho River. Oh, I think I'd seen that. Okay. The C block and the one you're using now from SDG. Okay. The SDG block, the way it works, it's a laminate block. Okay. So it basically, when you shoot, you got one runner comes in on the bottom block and it stays divided by that plate. The next runner comes in on the top block and stays divided by the plate. And so with a regular block, if I get this wing nut back on here. So like with the SDG block, you would put it on like this. This would become your belly side. This other side is the back side. And it stays divided laterally down the mold. Now, when you get down to like these, you actually turn it 90 degrees because your whip wads are divided instead of this way down the bait. Instead of this being the dividing line between the two halves, this is the dividing line between the two halves. Okay, so you would turn this 90 degrees so that you're shooting one side is your back and one side is your belly. The way a C block works, if you look at the end of the C block, this little opening, instead of having two sides, it's four separate holes. And so what it's doing is it's taking your left color and going over here, and taking your right color and going over here. And on the bottom side, it's taking your right color and coming here, and your left color and coming here. So now when you shoot with it and the plastisol comes in, they're forced into crisscrossing like this as they enter into the mold. And so in theory, what it's supposed to do is get this swirling or a camouflage type of effect in your baits. And I have tried, and a lot of it depends on the mold, but even a simple stick bait, which if you cannot laminate anything else, you can laminate a stick bait. I mean, they're just easy. So the C block trying to make that camouflage, it's supposed to swirl all the way down through that stick. And if you shoot it fast, it doesn't work. If you shoot it too slow, it doesn't work. You got to have that exact right speed for that specific mold in order for it to work. So the guys that are getting it to work, I don't know if you've seen 513 lures. He works with it all the time, and he worked with it for a couple of years before he ever went online and did it, so that it looked good, you know, because he's representing them. So same way with Chris Jones. Chris Jones can work that C block, but he spent years shooting that C block. And I just haven't figured it out. I don't think it's very efficient. You can milk the cow and get just as good of results and not spend the $200 on the C block. So yeah, just, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm cheap, but I like it simple. And if I can just take my tie block off and just pump the two and it works, why not just do it and save yourself some money? Looking at the map, it's between Vinta and Grove. So find a map on here. There's Eufaula, Tulsa, Muskogee, Choctaws, Seminoles. Yeah, the biggest problem with Google Maps is they're not the highest quality. So it's part of the Nisho River. Nisho River goes from there into there. Twin Bridges. So that's down by Grand Lake then. Okay. So you're down towards Grand Lake, and let's see, is that it? Nope. Okay, I see. So, not too far. It's probably only a couple hours. Hour maybe. Of course, that's not very far. Eufaula is more, I don't know, center of the state. So see, we drive from right here. I don't know if you can see that. We go from, dang on it. Right here. This lake, and then it's only like a 10-hour drive to Eufaula. But so I finished fishing on Sunday. Sunday is the weigh-in and the awards, and then Tuesday or Wednesday I have to be in Eufaula for the pre-fishing. So I won't even come home because it's a 49-hour drive for me to get to Gunnersville, and then 10 hours back, or 11 hours, something like that, to get to Eufaula from there. So Yeah, C block. You know, the best thing, if you wanted to try the C block, I'd just send you mine because I almost never use it. I mean, I tried every once in a while, and every time I tried, it just makes me mad. So, um, so you know, best thing you can do is just, and I think it's that way with everything, no matter what you're buying, injectors. If you're going to buy the SDG multi-block, uh, you know, the C block, any of those type things. The one that really disappointed me was I bought that that 4060 injector, thinking it was gonna give me great laminates, you know, with less belly, because most fish, when you look at them, at a picture of a fish, the skipjack is a freak because it's almost all belly color. Most fish are almost all back color all the way down to that pectoral fin, and then very little belly. And so I thought 60/40 would be the way to go. Well, I bought the 60/40 and I was disappointed. So then I immediately had to buy the 70/30 to get the effect, and I'm still disappointed. That would be much better if it was an 80/20. If you could get an 80/20 injector, would be perfect. Uh, and so the best thing that you could do as a bait maker is find somebody that has what you're thinking about buying, and borrow it from them or rent it or do something. Use it for a time or two, make a shoot or two with it, and then send it back to them. That way, you know, if you want to get it. Because if I'd have known what was going to happen with that C block, I would have never bought it. I would have never wasted the money on it. I could have bought so many more pigments and powders and you know, different products with the money I spent on that C block. I could have bought another set of injectors for the money I spent on that thing. So, you know, if I've got something and you guys want to try it, just yell and I'll send it to you. You know, it almost becomes like a library system. You just got to trust that they're going to send it back, you know. And it might be that you try the C block and you absolutely love it, you're gaga for it, and I just sell it to you at a bargain price. So, you know, but you know, and I think if somebody, I used to gunsmith. Uh, uh, that's what I went to college for. My engineering school was in firearms manufacturing, and so I would do gunsmithing. And I used to buy reamers to make chambers, and those reamers were like $300. So before I could make any money doing a chamber and a barrel, I had to do like 20 chambers before I even paid for that reamer. And then this guy come by that had all kinds of reamers, and he was sharpening them, and he started renting them out. And you could rent a reamer for $10 for a week. And I started doing that and actually making money by making barrels by renting reamers. And so you could do the same thing. Somebody has, you know, a specific kind of injector. You just rent it to them for a week. You know, get a credit card deposit, and if they don't send it back, just charge your credit card for it. So, you know, if somebody set up a library type system for bait making equipment and molds and stuff like that, where you could try them before you ever spent the money on them, I think it would just enrich the bait making community that much. I know Dave shoots a lot of those engraves molds, and I would really like to try an engraves mold before I ever bought one, simply because I have plastic molds and stone molds, and that's what I started on, and I hate them. You cannot make a bait on them. But the way, you know, you look at what Dave and some of the other guys that are shooting engraves molds, and they're doing quite well with them. So, you know, it'd be nice to try one before I ever bought one. And, you know, if they worked out, I'd more than likely buy some, because they are less expensive than an Epic or an angling AI. You know, the quality of the Epic, you're never going to top. You're never going to. The quality is so far superior than any other mold you'll get. You'll never come close, no matter what. But Epic doesn't make tubes. Epic doesn't make, you know, the koikis. So, you know, I bought the, and I actually got lucky. I got in on the Ultra Molds koikis back when he was experimenting, and they were all, I got like 5 different sizes from them, you know, to try out and let them know what I thought, how they shot, and stuff like that. And so I ended up with quite a variety of koiki balls that way. But, you know, some of those plastic koiki molds, they look like they'd work pretty well. So, you know, you ever get rich or want to get rich, buy a bunch of molds and start renting them out. So, but hey, this was fun. We came up with a fantastic recipe. These are just, and I know I'm going to go back through and reshoot them, or well, not reshoot them, but I'll do this recipe again tomorrow, and I'll actually add that T8000 to it, or T800, whatever. Yeah, you know, if you want to try that C block, I can't stand it, but you know, you could try it, and if you like it, I'll sell it to you dirt cheap. So, you know, some people love it. Some people swear by it. I don't like it. You know, I do better milking the cow, I guess is what they call it. You know what they call it? Yeah, milking the cow. Probably because I grew up milking cows. So, but we used machines for that. So, but yeah, I sure appreciate you guys' help with this. We came up with a great recipe, you know, and it can only get better. So made some fantastic baits. I'm pretty excited. Thank you, Jason and Amanda, for sponsoring me and getting me the molds. That is, you know, that's priceless. That's going to help me everywhere I go. So, because face it, where I'm fishing, we got smallies. We don't have largemouth bass. So, besides that, I might get down there and catch a world record walleye. You can never tell. So, that I know how to fish for. So, you guys want to go walleye fishing, come out here. We'll go walleye fishing, or trout. We got big trout, big salmon. So, like angling, but that might be because I only have one mold. I have quite a few angling AI molds. I was buying angling AI back when they were about half what they are now. Matter of fact, I was buying open pour, or you know, the hand pour angling AI molds when they were like 70 and 80 bucks, and now they're $200. They've gotten to where, I don't know if it's greed or business, you know, of course, price, materials, everything. He's the same price, if not more, than Epic. And so I bought my first Epic mold, and matter of fact, Adam at SDG, I got my first Epic molds from Adam and fell in love with them. They're the quality of them, the ease of shooting them. I don't have a single Epic mold that isn't extremely easy to shoot. So, yeah, I can't say enough about them. They're fantastic molds. They're fantastic people. You guys get to go to the Bait Makers meetup. You ought to try it, because it's that's where you find out about him, and you get to go through his shop and see how he's making them and stuff. It's kind of interesting. First mold about a month ago from Jacob. Cool. Yeah, Jacob into the woods. Yeah. Jacob's a great guy. He does some neat stuff. You guys want to know how to modify lead mold? Jacob's the one to watch. He is top notch at it. But yeah, Jacob's sharp, and he's got some great recipes. Last Swim Customs, he's another good one. If you want some truly fish catching colors, Last Swim Customs is a good one to watch. Because that's what he does every day, is fish, and so he's experimented and played around and figured out the right color combinations for his area. So yeah, he'd be a great one. Dave makes a lot of colors. Of course, you never see Dave fishing, so I think Dave can make baits, but he doesn't know how to fish. So, you know, and we only thought Chris Jones was world's worst fishing. Might be Dave. We don't know. He won't go. So, yeah, I'm talking about you, Dave. So, no, I don't know. I like Chris Lip Rippers. He comes up with some really crazy colors that just seem to work. So, and it's a great community. I mean, everybody's willing to share their ideas and their thoughts. I mean, it isn't like you know, you get into the shooting sports and everybody's gun is better than everybody else's gun, and they can shoot better than you'll ever be able to shoot. No, Chris. Chris has got one of those jobs where he's off all winter and works like crazy all summer. Quit telling all your secrets. Yeah, okay, I will. But I'm telling Mom. So, so Chris, you know, you'll see Chris a lot in the winter times, but yeah, during the summer, you know, he just put out a couple from. He was on vacation, and then he did do one bait building video here recently. So it's good to see him, but he's still out there. He's around, and he's watching. He'll watch your guys' videos and check you guys out and stuff. So, so Chris is there. Yes, I'm gonna tell Mom. How do you think I get chocolate chip cookies in the morning for my coffee? Because I'm the informant. You might be Tums, but I'm the informant. So yeah, now Dave, if you start getting Tums or called Tums, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. It was the squirrel. The squirrel did it. Mom already knows she's watching. Yeah, he's getting ready to come into that time of the year, so I'm kind of excited. I really like watching Chris's videos. Uh, he's just got that personality, and the colors he comes up with are phenomenal. They're great. So, but Michael is, you know, Bait Chuck, and everybody knows Michael. He's another great one. Rails, Mike at Bar Down Baits. He puts out some really good videos. You know, and then Rogers Baits. Rogers Baits has always got some very good, very practical color builds. So he's another good one to watch if you're wanting to learn colors and techniques and stuff. So Moms always know. Well, yeah, that's because I'm the informer. You know, somebody has to be the informant. So my mom, until I was 15, I thought my name was Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. And then they got me learner's permit to learn to drive, and I found out that wasn't my name. But yeah, my mom knew before I did what I did in school. And I can guarantee none of it was ever good. I was in trouble a lot. So just my biggest problem was I'd get bored in school, and so I didn't want to attend class. So halfway through class, I'd figure the teacher was an idiot, and I'd get up and walk out. So yeah, my mom always knew. Of course, my mom worked for the school district, so I was always in trouble. So, but it's been a fun night, guys. I really enjoyed it. Got some great colors going here. So, Michael, if you're still listening, happy landings. Of course, Arizona, California, you're probably there by now. So, but yeah, this has been great. And next week, I'll figure out what we're going to do, but it'll probably be more working towards getting ready to go on this tournament. So I got to rewire my boat. I took my boat to Bass Pro Shops because it was still under warranty. I wanted all the electronics. I wanted the forward-facing sonar and a couple different graphs put in and stuff, and multiple transducers and stuff. And since it was under warranty, I took it to them to do. And for some reason, the forward-facing sonar is on one battery. Now I've got a battery bank that's for my trolling motor, and I've got a battery for my starting motor, and connected to that battery, wired in with that battery for the starting motor, is the battery with a buffer between them that's supposed to be for all of my electronics. And so all of a sudden, one electronic will be reading, 12.8 volts, and the next electronic will be reading 10.9 volts, and alarms are going off. And so when I got to looking at it, they actually wired the forward-facing sonar into the trolling motor batteries. So every time the trolling motor fires off, it drops the voltage enough that it sets off an alarm on the forward-facing sonar. Now, another one of the screens that I had put in, the Garmin units, when you go to start your boat, it kills that unit and I have to restart it. And so the one on the dash works just fine all the time, and it always reads a good voltage and everything else. So when I got to looking, they hooked one unit up to the start battery, one unit up to the electronics battery, one unit up to the trolling motor battery, and another unit, I have no clue where they hooked it up, because about half the time it doesn't work. So maybe next week what we'll do is we'll go through and rewire all that and set it up the proper way. So can't wait for the next live. Cool. Yeah, so it's Gunnerville, and then the very following weekend is Oklahoma, and that's in Eufaula on the I have to be there on the 22nd for pre-fishing. So I think it's the 25th is when the tournament starts. 24th is when the tournament starts. Yeah, the problem is if your boat's under warranty, you have to take it there for just damn near everything. And if it's under warranty, your oil changes are covered under that. You know, and the Bass Pro for me is in Denver, but they're just like everybody else. They can't keep help, so they hire every shade tree mechanic that thinks they know what they're doing just to have beating hearts in the shop. And they rely on the guys that have been working on boats for 10 and 15 and 20 years to train the guys that are coming straight out from underneath the walnut tree. And they don't want to pay the experienced guys any more than what they're starting the inexperienced guys out on. So there's a little bit of disgruntled employee relationships going on there. And so the young guys aren't getting trained and they're screwing stuff up. The old guys are sitting back and cussing and complaining because the young guys are screwing everything up, and they got to go through and fix it. And it's a typical shop environment, and it just drives me up a wall. You know, I mechanic for damn near 40 years, and you know, and I know what it's like to be working for $65 an hour and have some kid who barely graduated high school come in and get $62.50 an hour, which I started at $15 an hour. You know, and why not start that guy at $15 an hour? And it just it creates a toxic environment, and things get messed up. Unfortunately, the things that get messed up are the customers' items. So yeah, the boat's not under warranty now, so I'm just going to go through and wire it the way it should be wired. You know, there's a reason why I got 6 batteries on a boat, because I want to have power for everything. So maybe next week I'll have to see what the weather is going to be like, but maybe we'll delve into how to wire a boat, in case you guys ever get one and you need to add an electronic to it or something. But if not, we'll figure something out. So, but thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And it sure was a fun one. The new molds are great. Thank you, Jason and Amanda. I couldn't thank you enough. They're fantastic molds, and now I feel a whole lot more confident going into Oklahoma. The colors that we built, guys, they're great. Michael, 8-bit, thank you. Appreciate all the bling. So, but yeah, it's been great having you guys here. I sure appreciate it. So you guys have a good night. We'll see ya, Toms. Yeah, if people start calling you thumbs in your videos, it wasn't me. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it. Yeah, one of the big one, like that big fish, put on my boat. That'd be cool. So, and if any of you other guys want stickers put on your boat, get them sent to me. They need to be a vinyl sticker so that they'll stand up to the water and the sun and all that. But yeah, if you've got a vinyl sticker you want put on the boat, get it to me, and I'd love to put it on the boat. I mean, we're all a community here, and instead of getting the sponsors like Bass Pro and Mercury and some of the big guys, I figure we'll just get sponsors from the little guys, you know. And so 25, 50, $100, whatever helps. I mean, it gets me there, gets my tournament fees paid, you know, and getting your sticker on the boat so that people see that, hey, these are bait makers. These are the guys where if you want to catch the fish, you'll buy from them. So yeah, give me your stickers, guys. So appreciate it, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again for joining me. It was a fun one.